A man has a choice. I chose the impossible. I built a city where the artist would not fear the censor, where the great will not be constrained by the small, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality. I chose to build Rapture. But my city was betrayed by the weak. So I ask you, my friend, if your life were the prize, would you kill the innocent? Would you sacrifice your humanity? We all make choices, but in the end, our choices make us.
Oh, and start recording. Hey, we're back.
Hello. It's been months, Chris, since we recorded.
For them, it's been a couple of days. Been months. Took a 2-week break. I called out sick to our Let's Play, and then I was in Portland for the weekend. And anyway, now we're back, and we up Bio in our Shock.
Yep, we got some Bio in our Shock, one of my favorite first-person shooters ever made, I think. Even because I love Half-Life, but I think it might even be a bit more, I like it a bit more than even Half-Life. But this game actually has an ending, so.
And I know absolutely nothing about this game.
I was going to say, would you kindly, Chris, tell the people what you know about Bioshock?
I know Big Daddy, and he's got a little girl with him. I know Rapture is a place underwater.
Yep.
And it was a beloved game that there was 3 games in the series, and the third one everybody hated.
Yeah. Well, I still remember seeing the trailer. It wasn't even a trailer. It was like a gameplay demo of Bioshock Infinite where it showed off so much more that the game could have been. Like where you're catching like full tank bullets, reversing them, shooting them back at it. There was like, I don't know, I don't know the name of the video, but it's on YouTube somewhere. You can find it if you go type in Bioshock Infinite release trailer or something like that.
Probably at E3 or something.
Yeah, E3 thing, because they made the game look like it was going to be so much more, and then it ended up becoming what it was. I remember beating Bioshock Infinite and then realizing, I was like, wait a minute, none of that shit was in the game that they showed off, so it was very disappointing at the end.
You know, you could probably find that release first look trailer and with somebody breaking it down compared to what the actual game ended up being.
Yeah,
and like
guaranteed.
What wasn't there. I'm sure there's so many videos dissecting that.
Yep.
But yeah, I know nothing about this game, and before we even hit new game, if this is your first time here, please do us a favor and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Turn on notifications. It's every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Occasionally, we'll do 5 uploads in a week if we just want to wrap something up for schedule reasons. You know all that. If you're getting notifications, it means nothing to you. It means the world to us.
Yes.
Let's get up. Let's bio our shocks.
All
Who
right.
up bio when they shock right now?
Well, first I'm going to do this.
It is very classy.
It is.
So, again, I knew nothing about this game. So I had to install it today on my PlayStation 3.
I'm going to brighten it up a little bit.
And it is incredibly classy. Just like the jazz playing while it like rolls through like their old timey advertisements.
Yep, exactly.
I'm like, okay, I already get why people love this.
Yep. So I would say let's do I'm not going to do Survivor because I feel like, well,
I don't know. You've been playing Armored Core.
yeah.
That combat's, I mean, you can listen to your heart. Go with what you feel.
I'll pick hard because I feel like Survivor, we'd be restarting a lot. Like I'd be dying a lot in Survivor. I feel like hard would probably be a bit better just because I haven't played this game in a while, like a long time, maybe a couple of years. But I did play it quite a bit when it was first out and even after the fact. So we'll go ahead and pick hard.
So, is there an intro cinematic? Am I going to need to shut up?
Yeah, it's not very long, but
Okay, I won't start my story then.
okay. But I do remember this intro cinematic really taking my breath away back in the day when I first played it on Xbox 360.
Okay.
They told me, son, you're special. You were born to do great things. You know what? They were right.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were playing or not.
Yep, I am. I am now playing. See, that's what was so good about this intro. It's just like it just drops you right in. And it's just like you see all this fucking the water effects and you get this big old lighthouse that they're obviously trying to get you to swim towards.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this whole sequence, man, it was next gen. This is what it felt like to play a next gen game after going from Xbox to this. It was one of the few times I could really tell the difference.
Yeah, 'cause what is this, 2008?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely the height of the Xbox 360 era.
Yeah, because when did the PS3 come out? 2006? I know it was earlier than you think it was. Because it lasted like a really long time. Like their lifespan was really long.
Yeah, they had some of the best games on them too.
Yep, for sure. I mean, we've been playing a bunch of PS3 games and I mean, great.
Yep.
But what I was going to say was, speaking of PS3, so originally we were going to do Demon Souls. We decided to do Bioshock because I know nothing about Bioshock. And
Yep.
But with Demon Souls and the Souls games, like we've played all the other ones except for Demon Souls. So I'm like, let's get an idea of what we're doing. Like, we don't want to wander around. So I started watching a Let's Play of it. And the whole of the original PS3 one. And the whole time he's talking about how the emulator is kind of janky.
Yeah.
Because of what a pain in the ass it is to capture a PS3.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
he's like, I have to find an emulator that'll work, and they were all bad because, you know, if I try and hook up my PS3, it's going to be a pain in the ass. And I'm like, oh, I believe it. I had to do so much research before I did. And
Yep.
buy an old capture card they don't even make anymore. And anyway, so we're taking advantage of that and playing the PS3 version.
Exactly. Yeah, after I pull this, it'll be kind of like an in-game cutscene kind of thing going on.
Let me tell you about the drip.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that, like, 50s Art Deco.
Oh, seriously.
I guess it, like, 20s was really the Art Deco, but then it came back because style was cyclical.
I am Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington, it belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God. No, says the man in Moscow, it belongs to everyone. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose Rapture.
Yeah.
A city where the artist would not fear the censor, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality, where the great would not be constrained by the small. And with the sweat of your brow, Rapture can become your city as well.
So it makes me think, is this what all the underwater welders are doing? Is that why they make so much money?
Exactly.
But this is kind of insane. Like, you're in a plane that crashes in the Atlantic. You have me next to a lighthouse. You go in the lighthouse, now all of a sudden you're at this crazy underwater metropolis.
It just works, Chris.
I'd be freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
This faceless protagonist is very calm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the intro's the only time you hear his voice.
Yeah. Do you ever hear Gordon Freeman?
No.
Don't need to.
If you play Blue Shift, you see him wave at you.
Hell yeah. Gordon Freeman, Gordon Freeman.
Gordon Freeman, Gordon Freeman, Gordon Freeman.
That's a throwback.
I always loved the idea that they could build this underwater city, but they don't have like moving picture yet. It's all still like still frames and like slideshow-esque.
Weird. Priorities.
Mm-hmm.
You're just in a high-rise underwater, and whale just crashes into the side of your building. Underwater 9/11.
Yeah, really. Hey, what's going on out there?
Some Silent Hill Homecoming shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What are you, some kind of hook man?
Hmm.
Hook woman?
Oh, she's very upset. He smells me.
Blood is in the water. Hey, a radio.
Radio.
I don't know how you survived that plane crash, but I've never been one to question Providence. I'm Atlas, and I aim to keep you alive. Now keep on moving. We're gonna have to get you to higher ground.
So, what I mentioned was I was in Portland. Excuse me.
I won't leave you twisted.
Last weekend, we went to go see Game Grumps live, which was a lot of fun. It's funny, so we're walking from our hotel to the theater, and I'm like, well, I guess from the parking garage to the theater, and we didn't know where the theater was, so I'm like on Google Maps, on my phone as we're walking, and then I look up and just see a couple of nerdy looking characters. And then I'm like, I wonder if they're going where we're going. And then I noticed their backpack is just covered in Game Grumps pins. And I was like, oh, cool, I can put this away.
Yeah.
Just gonna follow them. And then, yeah, we get there and it's this big old line for, because we did the early VIP with like the Q&A and stuff. And I was like, I actually really, you would think a line would be annoying, but I appreciate a line to tell me like, hey, yes, this is where you stand.
Yeah, exactly.
But for anybody who's a fan of theirs, the live show's fun. Let me tell you what it's not. It's not a live Let's Play.
Yeah.
It is not that at all. It's kind of like it's almost like a stage play, sort of. But they pull people up on stage and play games. And if you're into like their comedy on the show, it's a lot of that. But it is like, you know, like a scripted, acted like event.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. Apparently Hannah heard some people that didn't understand what it was supposed to be and thought it was a live Let's Play, being confused and not caring for it. And I'm like, just go to Reddit. I literally went to Reddit, like, what's the Tournament of Gamers like? And then someone described what I just described, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Although the Q&A was more like, you know, what you would expect, because they're just like bullshitting, answering people's goofy questions.
So it's they more or less just, they bring people up on stage, play games with them, and kind of use it as an interactive way to kind of get to know their fans a little bit.
Kind of. So like there's like a premise, like they're two, it's like they're two warring families, Grump and Not So Grump. And it's like, yes, it's like we're war. And then Aaron's like, no, dude, we're trying to get peace. He's like, yes, the war of peace.
That's pretty
And
good.
they have like a running thing, like what the record is for factions against each other. Like before Portland, they had done Alaska and Vancouver in Canada. And I guess there was 3 because it was 2-1. Dan's team had won twice and Aaron's team had won once. But yeah, so they would just have these games. It's like people on like the right side represent Aaron's team and the people on the left side of the crowd represent Dan's team, and they would have like these little kind of mini games that it's basically like flash games, but they're like Game Grumps themed.
Yeah.
And so people would come up and play them. Like one of them was like Guitar Hero, basically.
Oh, there you go.
But it was really cool. Oh, I forgot. So the YouTuber Dad was there. I don't know if you're familiar with him at all. I only knew him from Creator Class when he beat the living shit out of that other guy, and it became like a viral clip.
He beat somebody up?
Yeah, in the YouTube boxing thing.
Oh, okay.
Like he beat the shit out of this dude, like really bad. But he was there, and so he did like a 45-minute thing before, and it was like a dance party. He'd pull people up on stage and teach them a part of a dance, and they would dance to his original music.
Yeah.
And then the crowd would like vote on who danced the best, and they did like 4 rounds of that.
Oh shit, okay.
And that was pretty wild. I'm like, this is not my, like, if this is what your YouTube channel's like, it's not for me, but this live was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's good.
Because he like jumped super high off of the stage, like down onto the ground. I'm like, that stage is like a 4-foot drop, and you probably jumped like 3 feet in the air. I'm like, that's a 7-foot drop.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of like chaos energy, and it was super fun.
Good.
So definitely do recommend.
This little fish looks like he just had his cherry popped. Wonder if he's still got some atoms.
Yeah, we just popped our first drugs. We just stuck a needle in our arm and took a nice handful of plasmid.
Oh yeah, dude, when you're in an underwater city, you just spike up, I guess.
Do what the Romans do and
When in Rome.
Worth telling you would not be that yellow. Always have been. You'll be no better off with a metal daddy, little fish. See you floating, right?
He looks like a baby, a wee baby.
a wee fucking baby.
He does look like a fucking baby. That's the vibe they're giving.
Yep. Oh shit.
Oh fuck.
Chris, is that who I think it is?
Oh shit, it's Debo.
It's fucking Devo, dude.
Debo.
I can see light coming from his belly. Wait a minute. He's still breathing. It's alright. I know he'll be an angel soon.
Is that my dad?
Mr. Bubbles.
But as far as like Portland as a city goes, Last time I went to Portland, it was pretty shitty. Like, the streets were completely dead at like 7 o'clock on a Friday. Like, you're walking down the street. It's like, you don't want to believe the news or whatever what they say about Portland, but that's kind of what I experienced. Like, just walking down the street, just every car parked on the street had a window smashed out. Like, like windows on like businesses were boarded up.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it was last time. This time, about almost a year later, it was definitely better for sure. It's funny. So we were staying in a hotel.
Oh shit.
We were staying in a hotel, and I'm like, okay, this hotel's pretty cool. Like, it was one of those buildings you could tell used to be a shithole. Like, this used to be a sketchy ass building, but then they bought it and spruced it up, and it's all nice inside. So we get back. Okay, so after the show, we need to go get food, but we weren't like go eat at a restaurant hungry. So we drove out to a Walmart. And we just got Lunchables. So we come back to the hotel and we're like over the desk. I'm eating a pizza Lunchable.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Before I go to sleep. Oh, which I hadn't had a Lunchable in 100 years.
Yeah.
So then we pass out. It's like midnight. And I sleep like the dead. Like, I'm not being woken by anything.
Yeah.
I wake up. It's pitch black. My phone's on the other side of the hotel room because I didn't have an outlet next to my side of the bed. And what woke me up is it sounded like somebody's phone alarm. But it wasn't an alarm. It was like 2 notes on a keyboard that were off key, just alternating back and forth, like dee 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 dee, but like off key. And it was just enough of like an earworm to wake me from a dead sleep. So I'm sitting there hearing this, and I'm like, what time is it? Because if it's 1 a.m, I am fucked.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a person that if I'm woken up like to a point where I have conscious thought, there's no way I'm going back to sleep.
Oh no.
So I'm sitting there and I'm hearing this dee 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 dee, and I'm like, is that coming from outside? And then what I assume is a homeless person just starts scream singing.
Oh God.
Over this off-key keyboard shit. And I'm like, motherfucker, dude.
Oh no, dude.
So that's going on, and I'm like, I'm fucked, dude. I'm like, at what point do I just sacrifice, like, say fuck it, and just get up and get my phone and see what time it is? And then I start hearing moaning, like somebody's getting railed. That's coming from inside the hotel.
Oh Jesus.
And that's what wakes Hannah up. So there's homeless, like, jam bands going on outside, and then somebody's getting taken to Pound Town at some hotel room next to us, and she wakes up, she's like, Jesus Christ. And then so she looks at her phone. She wakes up and I go, welcome to the party.
Oh no, dude.
And so she looks at her phone, I go, what time is it? And she says 5 a.m. And I go, oh, thank God. But that makes all of this weirder.
Yeah, because it's like, what the fuck are people doing at 5 a.m.?
Who's getting railed at 5 a.m. and who's starting their like fucked up, drunk, on drugs, street corner jam shit at 5 a.m.
He wakes up, looks at his clock on his watch or something, and he's like, all right, time to start my jam set.
Yeah, dude, it's time to start going. And I'm like, this is so odd, but I'm like, okay, 5 a.m. I'd occasionally wake up at 4:30 naturally person, so I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm exhausted, only on like 5 hours of sleep or whatever, but okay. And then we hear the train, the Max, because they have like the public train thing that goes around Portland.
Yeah.
We have it in Seattle, but the Max has been around forever and it's way better. And then so Hannah goes, oh, it's the fucking Max. And then the train passes and now it's dead silent.
Yeah.
And I'm like, were these people just jamming out waiting for the train? But I'm like, okay, I guess we're going home. But yeah, so then we went and we got Voodoo Donuts, which, by the way, Voodoo, incredibly mid. It is, they're low-key shitty donuts. Like,
yeah.
I'm wearing a Voodoo Donuts hoodie because their logo's sick.
Oh, yep.
But we even went to the one not downtown. We went out of our way to go to one that was less populated, and we were the only people in there at 6 in the morning. They just opened. And here's my thing about Voodoo. I'm like, no matter what time I go there, they always give you fucking cold donuts like they've been sitting there for hours.
They make them and then just let them sit there.
100%. So we go there and I'm like, oh, maybe we'll actually get fresh donuts. Yeah, fucking right. And I get the maple bacon because I like maple bars.
Yep.
Their maple bar is worse than a grocery store's, like for sure. And then their bacon has been sitting there for some indiscriminate amount of time.
Jeez.
So now it's like kind of has that layer of fat on it, like grease. It sucks so bad. And the way I describe Voodoo is because people are like, oh, you gotta go to Voodoo, you gotta go to Voodoo.
Yeah.
It's like your friend who says, I make the best Kool-Aid, but all they do is put 4 times the amount of sugar in the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I like half the amount of sugar in my Kool-Aid. So it's the same thing. I'm like, I think they just put hella sugar in their donuts. But yeah, then we drove home, but overall the Portland trip was good. Like even that hotel shit, I'm like, well, Portland's gonna Portland, man.
Yeah.
Like that's on me. We were also on the 2nd floor right above the ground, so we were fucked to begin with. But what I would say about Portland is Portland's cool if you have a reason to be there. If you're going to Portland just to hang out, like, and oh, we'll figure out what we're gonna do when we're there. No, Portland sucks. Like you need to be there for an event of some kind, and then like in your spare time, check some stuff out.
It's not a place you want to really go to stay.
Yeah, because we did that last time. We just went to Portland and we were there for something. I don't remember what. But yeah, we were there for like something, but we were there too long. Like we had like a whole extra day.
Yeah.
Whereas you don't need it. Like this one, the show was on Saturday. We drove out on Saturday, stayed the night, drove back on Sunday, and it was perfect. And like we're going to Spokane on Tuesday. And it's funny because Hannah was like, oh, should we just go the whole week? And I'm like, there's not a week's worth of shit to do in Spokane. Like 1 whole day is all you need.
Yeah.
But Hannah's never been to Spokane, but after Spokane, we will have went to every Pacific Northwest major city. And so then I will be able to adequately judge Portland.
There you go.
And Seattle.
Yeah, exactly. See if everything is as bad as they say or is not as bad, or kind of come up with your own opinion about it, not just listen to other people talk about it.
I've reached I like Tacoma more than Seattle.
Yeah.
For sure, because Tacoma's not as much of a pain in the ass. Like they're both kind of shitty and smell like piss, but it's easier and cheaper to find parking in Tacoma. And I feel like the amount of accoutrements and things you can do are comparable. Just Portland or Tacoma is less of a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Okay. So in this game, instead of having to read everything, we get diaries.
Oh, like Dead Space.
Yep.
Another New Year's, another night alone. I'm out and you're
Will you turn on
suffering
subs?
working.
Yes.
Imagine.
Should have did that from the get-go.
No, I can't hear without my subtitles, Ben.
Subtitles on. Is it like everything or?
Yeah, just everything.
Okay.
What?
I'll have another
Where are my
drink.
subtitles?
Here's a toast to Diane McClintock, silliest girl in Rapture. Silly enough to fall in love with Andrew Ryan. Silly enough.
Yeah. So.
It's interesting because I can, now that I'm seeing this game, I recognize all the games that tried to do this.
Yeah. No, it's the same with because I don't know. So I have played System Shock 2, which has some of the best I guess you call them audio logs, like where you find the logs of people talking. Like it has some of the best ones because the voice acting in it is actually generally creepy because they're humans that have been taken over by an advanced AI.
Oh.
So it's like it's creepy because it's like almost like a cult thing going on. And like there's like one specifically I remember where a guy is talking like he's infected with the AI and he's shotgunning people to death. And he's just like spewing out some like religious sounding stuff at the same time. It's actually very creepy, very well done. But man, that game's got one of the stupidest endings in any fucking game ever. It's pretty good though.
Well, because seeing this, like, I'm just like, oh, we happy few just tried to do Bioshock on land.
Yeah.
That game is so broken though. Hannah did play it. I think we got it for dirt cheap because it was one of those games that just was functionally broken for the longest time.
Yeah.
We picked it because it was an Xbox exclusive and then it became like available. So we just picked it up for like $15 when it came to PlayStation. But yeah, it's the same type of vibe.
Oh yeah, this place is also very haunted.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, that's the other thing too. When we go to Spokane, we're staying in a historic and apparently very haunted hotel.
I I hope it. I actually maybe you'll see some stuff. You know, the only thing I have about haunted hotels is the people who work there, I think, try to scare you. I feel like it's like because it's like they know it's a haunted hotel, so they actually try to make it a bit more freaky.
Well, the Davenport, which is where we're staying, it's the historic hotel. They don't like say it's haunted on their website. It's just one of those, like, when you read people's reviews of staying there, they're like, this hotel's haunted as shit.
Oh, people are like, yes.
Which makes sense. It's like 100 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, hell yeah. There we go.
Hey, Brenda, you care to tell me why you've had a hole in the wall the size of Plymouth Rock coming out of your crapper going on 3 weeks now? Now, I ain't saying I'm Shakespeare. I'm trying to run a respectable theater. I got working folk coming in from Port Neptune trying to catch a little diversion. And all they can think about is the stink coming out of your shitter. Get it fixed.
The reason this is, I like the voice memo thing like this, is because games do it in like notes and documents you can find.
Mm-hmm.
You can see plenty of that in our Resident Evil playthrough. To do like world building. And this is a way to build your world without any extra work for your player.
Yeah.
Like, it just gets to play while you're doing other things.
Exactly. I actually definitely appreciate that. The only time it sucks is when the voice acting is not really that great.
Well, the only point of references I have is Dead Space, which did it great, and then this now, and I'm sure there's others that are slipping my mind.
Material that keeps the wheels of Rapture turning. Everybody wants it. Everybody needs it.
All right, this part is fucking legit. So do you see that thing in her hand?
Yeah.
So, fuck.
It's like a syringe.
Yeah, but if
rifle.
Well, it's a syringe, but if you notice the other part of it with the red liquid, it's a bottle.
It's a bottle?
It's a bottle. She sticks it into dead people who've been dead for a minute, and she drinks it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, because there's a whole thing about it. Fuck yeah.
Debo wants to spend Red's money.
Dude, seriously? Dude, you just got fucked up.
You just got knocked the fuck out.
Got knocked the fuck out.
And if you've never seen Friday, watch Friday. Oh my god.
Yeah, what are you doing with your life? Go watch it.
That movie has aged like fine wine.
It really has.
It is so good.
And it's got a pretty good message in it, I like to think.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, man. It's so good. There's nothing I could say that hasn't been said about that movie, but I don't know if these kids today have seen it.
Yeah, really.
Granted, I don't imagine anybody under 30s watching our stuff. I mean, if you are, sound off in the comments, but like we're playing a 10-year plus old game.
Exactly. And we're not even playing the remastered version. We're playing the PS3 version of it.
Yeah. Well, so we were going to play the remastered version because I had it with PlayStation Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Get him. But I had it with it was a PlayStation Plus game years ago, so I had gotten it as my reward. But I don't have PlayStation Plus anymore because I mostly had it for you and I to play Bloodborne together.
Yeah.
Or later Elden Ring, but we haven't been doing that. We've been getting together and playing these old games. So I'm like, why am I paying them? Like the renewal came up and I'm like, why am I paying you $100? I literally am not using you at all.
Yeah.
And so I canceled it, and then it turns out you don't get to use any of your previously like free in quotes games if you don't have PlayStation Plus anymore. So I'm like, well, I have Bioshock on PS3, so we'll just play that.
Exactly. Which, to be honest, still looks good, still runs good, feels good.
I mean, 720p 30 is fine.
Yep. One of the things about this game too, which was new to the time, at least in this sense, is the water and everything. You can't, like, it's all element based. So it's like water you can electrify. There's oil that you can turn to fire. There's lots of stuff like that in this game.
The water's not just set dressing.
Exactly. That's actually what I thought was really cool about it at the time. Was it's just like, it's not just, you know, there to look good and being underwater, but it's like you actually can use it to your advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was a pain in the ass for the developers of this game, but
yeah,
I mean, but hey, they did it. It looks great.
They fucking did. It's real nice. Oh, yeah, that's right. Fuck, I gotta forget. Ugh. Oh, buddy, okay.
Oh.
I gotta remember not to drink or smoke the cigarettes kill your health, and the drinking kills your atom, which is the blue bar.
Oh, okay. Kills your mana.
Yeah, your mana, exactly.
Anna's been playing Jedi Survivor again.
Oh, yeah.
Game's so cool, I'll have to play it. But then I realized, I'm like, you know what, that's the, like, not The Last of Us. I'm like, I'm not gonna play that. I'm like, I'll play the Jedi Survivor games. Because I played the first one. Hannah and I were playing it at the same time. Like, I would be playing for an hour or two, and then I'd be done, and then she'd be playing, and we just had separate saves.
Yeah.
And we literally just handed off back and forth like that until we got to the very end, and then she beat it. And then I figured, what's the point in me beating it?
Yeah, yeah.
But I haven't played the second one yet, and she already beat it on easy, and now she's playing it again on normal. And it looks so sick. I told my older brother that Hannah was playing Jedi Survivor, and he goes, "Why is she playing that hard-ass game for?" I'm like, what do you mean? It's fair.
Yeah.
I'm like, the combat's fun, and it's rewarding.
I need to pick it up and play it at some point. It's just never been something I've... I have such a huge backlog of games that I need to play. It's
Well,
just gonna...
I'm gonna play it on the channel, and then I can have you do The Last of Us, and then I'll do Jedi Fallen Order.
You want me to play Last of Us?
Yeah, I want you to play Last of Us. Give
All
me
right.
oh shit. Give me just because I'm bad, and so it's a game that's beloved by so many people. And
Yeah.
Because I know how it is. Like, it's the reason I can't watch people play. And there's probably some people who were watching this like, God, I'm a master of this game. I can't watch you do it wrong. But I can't really watch people play games that I'm really good at because I get frustrated.
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time is the example for me. Because I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, just go get the big Goron sword. Like, I'm like, you should just be destroying this game and trivializing it. Like,
yeah.
There's an order in my head to play that game, and so when I see people not doing it, it's also why I love Game Grumps. I can't watch them play Souls games.
I feel that.
Like, with Souls, I have to watch people that are good.
At least competent.
Yeah, competent.
Rapture isn't some sunken ship for you to plunder. And Andrew Ryan isn't a giddy socialite who can be slapped around by government muscle. And with that, farewell, or das Vidania, Jimmy.
But the opposite of that, for me, is specifically, like Silent Hill. Like,
Yeah.
I actually, watching people play that who are not familiar with it at all is actually very satisfying.
It's kind of more of a draw because it's like the survival horror. You want to see them kind of overcome it a bit more than you would want to see like somebody who's just really good at it.
Yeah. Or already crazy opinionated on it. And with Silent Hill specifically, if you know how that game works, you kind of trivialize the shit out of it.
Yeah, like we kind of did, like because we were, we knew how we had to run away from everything in number 3.
Number 2 as well, you can just kill everything.
Yeah.
And it's trivial to do so, like nothing's scary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I still remember the first time I played it on the Xbox, original Xbox. That game terrified me. It was actually really scary, but I remember as soon as I beat it and I went back into it, everything was not nearly as terrifying to me.
So that's the survival horror experience.
Yep, exactly.
Supposed to overcome it. By the midpoint of the game, nothing should be scary anymore.
Yeah.
That wasn't my experience with the Dead Space remake. Playing that, even on easy, when I knew I could just kill everything, it was still terrifying. It was like walking through a haunted house.
Yeah.
It's like, it can't hurt you, but it's still, just gets you. Still spooks me out, for sure. Oh man, so I like physical games. We own Callisto Protocol digitally, and I kind of want to buy it physically now because you can get it for like, I don't know, whatever changes in your pocket.
Yeah.
Even though I think that game is good. Like, the whole time I'm like, yes, you can criticize it for not being as good as Dead Space, but it's still a fun experience. Because Hannah was playing it, and I'm like, this combat is interesting. I really like that they did something new.
We'll have to, because I haven't played it.
It's-
I want to check it out at some point.
But I wanted to buy the special edition one because those are still around.
Yeah.
Because it just didn't do well. And the special edition comes with a big ass statue. I'm like, their monster design's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's like, it doesn't vary. That's another beef people have with the game. Like the variety of monsters wasn't very much. But I'm like, I almost bought the statue, but I was like, I want this physically, but I don't want it $100 back.
Like, yeah, maybe.
Or maybe I'll go on eBay and just buy someone's statue.
Yep. All right, so a huge part of the game is the hacking. You will see me in the screen anytime I have the chance to hack something. So we're gonna go ahead. It's a fucking pipe game of all things too, which is always it's always been funny to me that this is how you hack stuff in the game. But you gotta do it real quick. Trying to remember how this all works.
Okay, so you gotta connect the hose.
Yep, you gotta connect the dots. So it's just more or less, and then the whole thing is just, yeah, making sure you can actually...
I'm glad you understand how this works, because to look at it, I go, what?
Yeah, exactly. But see, it slowly starts to fill up, but then you can just do this and finish.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, it's fine.
Okay, so it is just point A to point B.
Yeah, exactly. But it gets a little more difficult as the game goes on, or depending on what you hack. So if I hack this vending machine right here, and you actually see the difficulty scale is this little like gauge right here.
Oh,
so
the
more,
top one?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like it can get more into the red, but right now it's in the green. So, but usually the safes, there's like safes and the vending machines are usually harder to hack. And then sometimes there's sometimes stuff in the way when you're hacking, which can set like alarms off and all that.
Okay, so it gets more intricate as you go on. I mean, it seems cool. It seems like a fun, like satisfying game, kind of like playing like on RE4. Doing the inventory is sort of its own game.
Yep.
I could see people wanting this as just a phone game.
Well, it used to just be a game on the like I remember an old school game where it was just that was the entire game was that.
I believe it.
But yeah, so this is where we'll do a lot of our shopping, as at these. I fucking love the circus of value.
Circus of value.
Yeah, right there. The circus of value. When you don't have enough money, he's like, "Come back with some, come back when you got some money, buddy." Oh, this is always loved it,
kid.
So we'll go ahead and just splurge on some of these.
There's like potions, and you get upgrades.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's so there's only a specific amount of upgrade machines in the game, so you have to choose whether or not you're gonna. I think there's a specific amount, but you can only choose certain weapons to like fully upgrade and
so
stuff.
There's a finite amount of upgrades, and you can.
If I remember
can you
correctly.
respec?
No.
Okay, so you can fuck it up.
Yeah, you can kind of fuck it up if you're like, if you really want to focus on a specific gun, you want to make sure to get those upgrades first. We'll probably fully upgrade the shotgun because the shotgun's really good. We might do the pistol because it's just versatile and easy to use.
Yeah, you're just listing what you upgrade in every game.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like upgrade your pistol. It's always worth it to do that. You're gonna find the most ammo, and then you pick what your boss weapon is, and you upgrade that.
Exactly. Funny enough, this game, I guess it does technically have like bosses, but they don't really. I'm trying to remember if they really feel like bosses at all or not.
Hold on 1 second. I gotta yell at my dog. Toki, get down. What are you doing?
All of a sudden, I got like a fuzzball right behind me.
Toki is a Dachshund Papillon mix. Just a big little guy. And he goes walking up on the back of the love seat that Ben's on, across the back, and then onto one of our coffee tables, which I've never seen him do.
He's just trying to be a part of the Let's Play.
Well, there's plenty of places for him to sit. I got a whole couch. You got the other seat on the love seat.
Yep.
He's just trying to vibe. His mom's not here. He doesn't know how to act.
Exactly.
Working that back slow motion for me.
But yeah, so we got our, so every time we get a little bud, I always love having these little guys around. I think you can have 2 at a time.
The drone R2-D2.
Yeah, exactly. In the second game, I think they get names, or you can name them. It's I think it's in the second game, but yeah, you can eventually, but yeah, so they don't really get upgrades. They kind of die fairly quick in the hard mode, but still fun to have around.
Hey, they're free.
Exactly. All right, so we got...
And it's not clear what you're trying to do.
Oh, I see. That's the funny thing. Luckily I know what needs to be done.
No, I mean like this character, like story-wise.
Oh, yeah.
You're just thrust here, and you start doing drugs.
Yeah.
And you see crazy shit, and you're like, oh yeah, I have special powers. I was just on a plane smoking a cigarette that crashed in the ocean. Now I'm in this underwater metropolis I didn't know existed, doing drugs and beating people with pipes.
Exactly.
Ryan and Adam. Adam and Ryan. All those years of study, and was I ever truly a surgeon before I met them? How we clinked away with our scalpels and toy morality. Yes, we could lop a boil here.
So this guy,
shave down a beak there, but
Stellman.
yeah, he's the technically the first boss.
Oh, or Steinman, and I can't tell if that's supposed to be an I.
Ryan frees us from the
He's a mad
scientist?
No, surgeon.
Surgeon.
Cosmetic surgery. Fucking like
gross.
yeah. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Because down here, there are no limitations to what you fucking can do to people, because it's kind of an all.
They ain't got no laws.
No, they don't really. Andrew Ryan kind of built a crazy place here, man.
Libertarian paradise.
If you want to use the emergency access, you'll be needing Dr. Steinman's key. He's the one that runs this place.
Oh, Jesus, lady. Did you give me a fucking chance? Get her! Get her, buddy!
He got her.
I'll just name him
Pete Jones.
Pete Jones.
Come on, Petey.
Yeah, Pete Jones. All right. All right, so. And the kind of nice thing about this game, they actually hand you quite a few guns right off the bat. They give me this. They give me the pipe wrench, which is my favorite weapon in any game.
Yeah.
Every game should have a pipe wrench or a monkey wrench.
Gotta tune them up.
Yeah. And fucking, yeah. So then we got this as well.
Oh, you know what else I've been doing lately? So, I was watching, if you watched any of our previous series, you know I've been watching Evangelion. I'm not going to dive right into that in this episode. I'll get into that a little bit later, but I've been rewatching The Walking Dead.
Oh.
Because at the time of recording, we're like mid to late September.
Yeah.
You're watching this in December, but so it's officially spooky season. And I'm like, I want some zombies. So let me just watch The Walking Dead until it gets bad.
Yeah.
And so I've been rewatching it, and a couple things. I'm in season 2 right now. And the first episode of The Walking Dead is excellent.
Oh, yeah. When he wakes up in the hospital.
Yes.
And
It's shot beautifully. It's acted beautifully. One thing. So in the early The Walking Dead, they like had a lot of extras. They did a lot of work. And like, you know, not just being CGI zombies everywhere.
Yep.
Like that's actually all people in makeup. Towards the later in the series when it got bad, I think they probably had less funding, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more CGI bullshit. And then you just saw zombies less and less. There is some CGI bullshit in the first season, but I think you kind of forgive it because of the novelty of it all. Like there's times when you're like, oh, he's clearly in front of a green screen right now. But it is, it's so good. If you haven't watched it in a long time, I recommend just going back and watching it till it gets bad again, because when it's good, it's really fucking
There's a
good.
reason people liked the show.
It had a talk show. It was like one of the best shows on television.
Yeah.
Like that's when AMC was at its height, because it was Breaking Bad and then The Walking Dead. Apparently the spinoff, I think what started is I kept seeing news about the Daryl Dixon spinoff, and people are like, oh, it did all the things that Walking Dead should have done towards the end.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about that show is when it first came out, it was only every Halloween.
Well,
so it's like it started.
The new
like,
season started.
Yeah,
on
new season started on Halloween, so they had a full like they knew their schedule pretty well. So I think they actually had like lots of time to work on it, and then it became like something where I think it was just like.
And the seasons were short as shit. The first season is 8 episodes.
Yep.
And yeah, I remember when it aired because I watched it with Jesse. It was Halloween 2010.
Oh, yep.
And I remember watching like the premiere of it
at his house. I think
at his house.
Yeah.
And then what they did was they would premiere it, and then they would just show that episode for like 24 hours. It just kept airing, so like you couldn't miss it because this was pre-streaming.
Exactly.
And then it was every Sunday. But yeah, it was like it's a zombie show that, like everybody watched. Every normie, everybody's parents watched The Walking Dead.
Yep.
Like it was so good. And it is still good, and I think it's on Netflix, so watch it. And
At least watch it till it gets
now
bad.
it's probably a little bit too late because you're watching this in December, so spooky season has passed. But
Yeah.
if you're looking for a zombie experience that's not the normal fare that you just watch all the time, it's worth a spin. You know what was absolute dog shit? Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh, really?
I remember watching that when it came out, and the problem is, it's cool because it's the when the outbreak first starts,
Yeah.
and it's in California,
Of course it is.
and so it's interesting to see like literally like when the outbreak first starts. But the problem is one of the main actresses is a dog shit actress, and she's a key main character in the show, so you can't get away from her, and it ruined the whole thing for me.
That's fine.
I'm like, every time this actress opens her mouth, I feel like I'm watching, I don't know, a Lifetime original movie or something.
Oh, God, yeah.
And it fucking killed it for me.
When we took what we got, but with Adam,
It's funny. Another thing I have the same thought like that about is Tenet. I'm like, I like the movie Tenet. It's just the main actor's not good in it.
Oh, that's the one where it's like reversal of time, right?
Yeah, when you see the people running backwards all the time.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Because everybody in that movie is great except for the main actor in it. And I don't even know that he's a bad actor. I just think he wasn't good in that.
Yeah.
Because I know him from Ballers, the HBO show with The Rock.
Oh, shit, okay.
He plays like an NFL player.
That's pretty
And I'm like, wait,
funny.
is that guy from Ballers?
all their machines will short out right and proper if you hit them with electrovolt.
I love the big cartoony gun.
Oh, dude, seriously, the gun is just ridiculous looking in this.
It's so big.
It is. I mean, even the monkey wrench. Look at that thing.
Well, I like a big wrench.
Yeah,
That's satisfying.
it is. So then,
You got a Looney Tunes revolver.
that's something you'd see fucking the Joker pull out of his coat.
Yes, 100%. You feel like a little flag's gonna come out. Bang.
Or from Who Framed Roger Rabbit with that tune gun that he had.
Yes.
Yeah, that shit was always cool.
Same vibe.
Stuck.
I saw the Pip Boy, so this is those people.
No.
Oh, it's not?
No, this is not. No, Pip-Boy was from Fallout. That's
I know,
Bethesda.
but I thought I saw one on a sign.
No.
And it looked like Pip Boy. I was like, oh, okay, it's the same people.
No, this is completely. These people did System Shock and all that stuff. I don't know, because that's all Bethesda and shit like that. But
I guess this is 2K.
yeah, exactly.
I don't think 2K exists anymore.
No, this company's gone. These guys, I think after Bioshock Infinite, I think they either got bought out or had to close shop or something like that.
A part of me is like, man, that's fine.
Yeah.
But not in a sense of sorry about your jobs, guys. But I just think that's, I don't know, I think of the 90s where like these small studios would pop up, make a couple of incredible games, get bought out, disbanded, and then somebody would go off and create a new independent studio, create some new crazy cool game, and then they would get bought out and disbanded. So I think of Rare.
Yeah, exactly. It happened quite a bit.
Yep. Or what is it? id Software, same type of deal. Early Blizzard kind of feels the same because I was just a small group of dedicated people that became too big. Because then I think of when they keep them around and then they just become that franchise's machine, like Bungie.
Yeah.
Like if Bungie had been like, you know, made Halo 2 and then went on to make new shit instead of Microsoft being like, no, you're the Halo machine
Infinitely making new Halos.
I mean, the original people all left and went off and did their own thing. I think they were contractually obligated through 3. There's a great documentary on Bungie and Halo. Actually, it's funny. It was G4 did it.
Oh.
G4 did a Halo like documentary when they came back, and it's really good. And I'm like, if this is what G4 did, this would be great.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to relive the glory days, In
all the
quotes, the
time.
glory days
Yeah.
of what G4 was. They had 2 shows.
Yeah, I find back in the day, I liked G4's
I
kind
liked
of
it too.
raunchy humor. They had that fucking stupid show, Code Monkeys, that was like the little 8-bit
Here's the thing.
show.
Back in the day, we weren't so aware of what sponsored content was, so it didn't feel like you were watching an hour-long commercial. Now that we're very aware of product marketing, when they tried to come back and do that same stuff now, it just became so clear
Yeah.
that this was just a big commercial that it kind of killed it. Like, I remember I would just put it on while I was like cleaning the house, the new G4. Like, I just put their YouTube re-uploads up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you guys just got sponsored by Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles so hard. It was the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like beat 'em up game and the like the Cartoon Network like fighting game or whatever it was, because they were just playing that and talking about that constantly. I remember like the next episode they're playing it again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? It just was so clear that this hour slot was bought and paid for by these people.
Yeah, because original G4, they had like Attack of the Show and all those, and it was just like they actually were able to have like opinions about the games.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, and because you'd have X-Play too, they would give like, I think, legitimate reviews. They would make jokes and things like that, but they actually had like legitimate points of view for the games and weren't just like, didn't just feel bought out to me, at least back then.
Yeah, because I don't think that the game companies were paying for reviews back then. I don't think that was a thing in like 08.
Yeah, yeah.
And now it's just so commonplace to be like hashtag sponsored.
Well, everything's paid for. Like if you do like Rotten Tomatoes, been proven to be like just completely, they're all bought and paid for reviews.
Oh, I experienced this shit firsthand. So I finally got rid of my Pixel 7 Pro, and I fucking hated that phone.
Yeah.
I was an HTC person forever. I loved HTC phones. They went under. I got an iPhone 8. It was fine. But I'm like, I just like Android. So I went to Samsung and had a couple of Samsung phones, all excellent, never had a single issue. And I was like, oh, let me try the Pixel. I'm like, I have Google Homes and stuff in my apartment. Like, let me try the Google Pixel. And every review is like, it's revolutionary, it's awesome, Google's killing it. And so I'm like, oh, cool. Like, people like it. When I got the phone, I immediately ran into issues with it.
Oh,
and
no.
at first I was like, well, I pre-ordered a phone. You would think this would have gone away. Like, I'd gotten phones when they first released. I'm like, it's not 2013. Like, this shit's figured out.
Yeah.
But I kept having issues. I ended up getting the phone replaced, which I've never had to have a smartphone replaced in the 10 plus years I've had smartphones. My replacement, as I'm setting it up, is having the same issues my other phone had.
Oh, that's just sad.
And I'm like, man, fuck, just like apps randomly crashing. I remember picking up my phone and the bottom half of my screen didn't work. Like, and then I would
jeez.
restart it and I guess it would work, but I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So, but every time, because I had a Pixel and Google is always listening to you, I would get like reviews of the Pixel. And even as I'm having these issues, reading reviews where people are giving it 5 out of 5 stars, talking about how great it is. And then finally, I see one review from this guy. I can't remember the website. It's like a legit website.
Yeah.
This reviewer going, he gave it like a 1 out of 5 stars or something.
Jeez.
And he explained everything he experienced when he had it, and it was everything I was experiencing it. And I didn't read the first review, but I'm reading his second review because, like me, he goes, okay, I got a replacement, figuring maybe it was a faulty phone. And then he described experiencing the same issues as he's setting it up.
Jeez.
And I'm like, holy shit. And a sea of reviews talking about this being the greatest phone to ever grace your hands. There's one guy explaining all the problems that I experienced and then even getting it replaced and still experiencing them. I'm like, holy shit, the first honest reviewer. I couldn't get rid of the phone till I had it for a year. I paid an additional $100 towards the balance of my phone to get rid of it.
Just to get out of that fucking whole
Yep, and I
ordeal.
got the Galaxy S23 Ultra in pink. I fucking love it. I have a Neon Genesis Evangelion case on it, which anybody who listened to our Resident Evil Let's Play or watched it will know that had the irony of that.
Yeah.
I'll get into that more at a later date, but I love this phone. Haven't had a single problem. The Pixel can eat my whole butthole. But it's just one of those, how sponsored everything is, you can't trust a fucking review.
Yeah, that is a real shame nowadays. Because you got to really go through a bunch of different people. And then it's like, even then, it's like, are these people just being would the word be like hyperbolic? Like,
Yeah.
are they just being overly criticizing it, or are they actually being genuine with the review?
Yeah, like, are they nitpicking?
Yeah.
Because here's the other thing, too. I don't think people who do reviews on YouTube inherently are shilling for these companies. I think a lot of it is like, hey, you're an influencer, we want to send you our thing.
Yeah.
Just in good faith, and the opinion is yours. But I think that it's inherently biased because they're like, oh, I want to keep this relationship open. So maybe they're like a little bit more forgiving about shit.
Exactly.
And when you think about it, that's probably fair. Like, they're not intentionally being malicious. But I think with something that you use every day, you go, oh, it's not a big deal. It's like, it isn't, but minor inconveniences all of the time becomes a big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Because here's one thing I never think about. My fucking phone. It just works. I do like 5 things on it. I take pictures. I go on Instagram, Facebook, occasionally Google something, and talk to my friends. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all this phone needs to do. So when you're going in depth about all these cool, crazy fringe features, who gives a shit? If my banking app biometrics disables itself 10% of the time, and I have to put my password in and re-enable biometrics, that seems like it's not a big deal. But when you're accessing your bank 10 times a week, and 1 out of those 10 times, your biometrics don't fucking work, and that's every week forever, yes, that's a major fucking issue.
Yeah.
Sorry, this app stopped working unexpectedly. If it happens 1% of the time, but it's an app you use every day, that's going to annoy the shit out of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Why do we have to...
Like, it's, yes, in the grand scheme of things, it seems minuscule, but you have to think about how frequently we use these products, and small things like that are unacceptable. This technology's been around for 10 years. There's nothing revolutionary happening here. Figure it the fuck out. That's the only reason why I'm like, I'm not an iPhone person. I think they're fine and they just work. I just think they're kind of boring comparatively, but I get it. You never have a single issue with that. And with the Samsung Android phones are like the iPhone of Android, it's the same way. And if you're gonna be a competitor to that, the first thing you need to do is not inconvenience your user.
Yeah, really though. It's just kind of goofy to me. And also it's like nowadays I really feel like the best service has ever been was back during like the 3G era. I swear 5G is the worst fucking thing ever. I have more issues with it than I ever did with my previous phone.
Oh, that was the other thing with my Pixel. Hannah and I are standing next to each other, both on T-Mobile 5G. She has full bars, 5G, everything. I had no signal.
Jeez, yeah.
And I got a new SIM card, still did it. Like, that was the other thing with that phone. And I'm like, I'm on Wi-Fi all the time, so I hardly notice. But when you're out and about and you need to, I was at the DMV and I needed to get some proof of address, and I had to go into my banking app and get like one of their statements. And then we had to run and get it printed and come back. And I don't have signal on my fucking phone when my wife does. Like, it was so frustrating, dude. I do not recommend the Google Pixel. They can fuck off, get the name brands, spare yourself. And if you have one that works awesome, hey, more power to you. Their AI-powered camera was very, very cool. I will give them credit for that. Yeah, but it just, I couldn't fucking do it. Like, I hate that I'm even talking about phones. You know what I mean? But, like,
what's just a topic?
I mean, again, like in 2015, it was cool to talk about phones because it was also new and they were getting better all the time. Now that it's just the same shit every year, it's like, who cares?
Yeah,
like they all work fine. Fucking just pick one. So to run into one that didn't was very frustrating. But I agree. My brother Tyler and I have said that 5G is the worst thing that ever happened to cell phones. 4G worked fine. I never noticed that 5G was ever any faster than 4G. What I did realize is if I don't have 5G and it falls to 4G, it's the same as having no internet.
Exactly.
How did that happen?
How did that fucking happen, dude? They just want to keep pushing that shit. It's so stupid.
But it makes no sense. I'm like, I had 4G for years and it worked everywhere and I could bring up and do whatever I wanted. But now if I don't have 5G, my internet just doesn't fucking work.
Yep.
And then 5G is so spotty and doesn't work inside. It just can't penetrate walls. It's such dog shit.
It's just, yeah, the whole thing is such a fucking crock.
T-Mobile's like, get our home internet. And I'm like, fuck you. What? So what I use for my job can be shitty? No thanks. It's only $50 a month. I'm like, why would I just give you $50 a month for nothing? Because that's what you're giving me, a box that does nothing.
Oh man.
Like, we're literally like with 20 minutes away from T-Mobile's fucking US headquarters. And our signal's spotty. I can only imagine anybody else, anywhere else in the world. And here's the other funny thing. My little brother has left T-Mobile, went to AT&T, it was worse, and then went to Verizon, and that was even fucking worse than AT&T and T-Mobile. So he's like, T-Mobile, funny enough, is the best. He's like, I've tried the other carriers, they're all dog shit. He's like, they're the best of the worst. I don't know what happened, but self-service only got worse over time.
It really has. And maybe it has something to do with now everybody has one. Maybe it's just like a clog in the system.
Thing.
Yeah.
Could be.
Maybe it's that.
I think the 5G signal just doesn't have the range or penetration that 4G did.
Which is super weird, because then why even switch to it in the first place?
Because if you're in a clear line of sight, it probably has a more bandwidth, so more people can be on it.
Oh, yeah.
But the trade-off is it doesn't penetrate. That's my assumption. But with that, we're gonna wrap up this first episode after my rant about cell phones.
Exactly. If that wasn't engaging to you, the viewer.
Hey man, I hope the people listening at home are like, "Fuck!" Somebody finally said it.
Somebody finally, yeah, exactly. Oh man. But
anyway, we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Consume
more.
Eat. Consume our content.
And hit that love button.
Hit that love button. Leave a comment. Bye.